I was born less than 35 days before 1980. Why does that matter? Because I was right on the dividing line between two different generations in the United States. Gen X, that's those that were born between 1965 and 1979. And millennials, typically accounted as those born between 1980 and 2000. Because I was born so late in 1979, I tend to identify more with millennials. That's who I went to school with growing up, more so than Gen X. But I guess technically I would be considered Gen X. So as the senior classman of millennials, I have a message for my underclassmates. Consider it the voice of one crying in the wilderness. Get your coffee. If you are between 21 and 35 years old, you are probably being told incessantly by our media class that you're never going to be able to achieve or attain the same level of lifestyle that your parents enjoyed. I know that's what you're being told because I hear it now, and I also heard it when I was a little bit younger as well. You might be concerned about your future prospects. The prospect of getting married, starting a family, getting true financial independence, having a genuine career, and you most likely think that you'll never, ever possibly be able to own your own home. All of these things may seem entirely unobtainable to you, so much so that you're tempted to feel like you've been robbed. You may have complained about this. Perhaps you are frustrated because you have significant student loan debt and no one has helped you to pay it off. Your parents and guidance counselors in high school encouraged you to go to school and get those loans. Your academic advisors told you that, hey, they're really low interest rates and this is just the way that it's done. And now you have a liberal arts degree and more than $40,000 in loan debt. Perhaps you feel as though the answer is for someone else to come in and pay off your debt. Possibly you think that the government should forgive your debt, or maybe you have even been told that if you would just work in a public sector job for 10 years, then your student loans will be forgiven. If you actually sit down and think critically about that offer, you're going to realize really, really quickly that once your debt is forgiven, you'll be in your mid-30s, and the prospect at that point of finding a better job is going to be significantly more difficult, even if you are free of your student loans. So you might want to think about that offer a little bit more in depth before you say yes. So this all looks pretty daunting. And I have something to say to you, and I hope that you'll hear me out. First, stop complaining. Take responsibility for your own life and grow up. I know that that probably makes you angry. You feel like, who the hell does this guy think that he is? He can't possibly identify with the challenges I'm going through. Well, not so fast. When I met and married my wife, she had more than $65,000 in student loan debt for an education that was not really going to do anything for her. I didn't have a college education and I was making less than $3,000 a month. She was 23, I was 26. And in the decade and a half after that point that we met and got married, she went back to school at a community college that we paid cash for to become a nurse. I worked hard to focus on my work as a pastor, not the most high-paying endeavor, and we took responsibility for ourselves. No one paid off our debts for us. We lived according to a budget, and because of that, we have been able to pay off those loans. And not only have we paid off those loans, but we built a family. We have 4 kids. We bought and then sold and then bought another home. And we live in one of the most expensive locations in the world, Southern California. So it actually is entirely possible. Both my wife and I, we work. We work to live within our means. And over the last 15 years, our means have increased substantially. So here's the thing that no one seems to be telling you as they are feeding you the pablum of government assistance and free education and free healthcare and universal basic income. For the vast majority of you, 21 to 35 years old, you have incredible potential to do exactly what my wife and I and virtually every other successful person that you envy has done. But you can only do that if you stop complaining. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Grow up and begin moving forward toward an actual aim. Guess what? That's what it means to be an adult. Only children live a life where they are fully provided for, and they have very little freedom. They have very little freedom in exchange for total provision. But at a certain point, they gain freedom as they begin to take responsibility for their own provision. And here's the problem. If you want to live forever as a child and have someone else provide for all of your needs, even if it's the government, then you're not going to have very much liberty. And the provision that you will receive will be only for your basic needs. But if you want something more than that, then it's time to stop complaining. It's time to grow up. It's time to take responsibility. It is possible. You are going to become an adult. I'm encouraged when I see a young couple doing exactly that. Sadly, they seem to be way too few and far between, but that can be you if you stop blaming others for your situation and you start planning a path in a new direction. Something to think about. We'll see you next time.